Hi, so I wanted to do a video to highlight this little series that I have. Thanks so much for being here. This is called a Shady Hollow Mystery series by the authors Juno Black. The authors are two women that co-write together. So this is book 1, 2, 3, and 4. And while I'm actually filming this video, I just pre-ordered the 5th one. So I'm anxiously awaiting for the 5th one. And so yeah, I just wanted to talk about them really quickly. So since this is the first one, I just want to show you the covers real quick of the other ones. So they're all very similar in the sense that it is about these animals that live in this little town called Shady Hollow. And there is a reporter named Vera Vixen, and then she's the main protagonist, and she is in charge of, writing for the paper, and she wants to solve the murder. And so there's like a main set of characters. I also like how in the beginning they have a cast of characters, so you can go back and reference this if you're like me and you like to kind of when you get to a character, like, who's that again? So you can kind of go back to it. It also has a cute little map. And so this is like, it also is very helpful when you're thinking about like where something happened in the book. Now, so the main character, really the main characters throughout all 4 books are like a revolving set of animals, but the main ones, like Vera the fox, who's a reporter. And then you have her friend, who is Lenore Lee, who's a raven who owns a bookstore called Nevermore Books. That's like a cute little addition. I love that. And then Joe is a moose who runs a coffee shop. And then you have the chief of police and then the deputy, who are 2 bears. And then you have different characters throughout, but then you also have this like beaver family. You have a mouse family. And then you have different characters that come into the story. Okay, these mysteries are for people who don't like me. If you're like me, you will get like possibly nightmares from actual like real horror stories. So these are not that at all. They're very lighthearted. Every single one of them that I've read, pretty much, most of them, like, maybe not, let's see, I don't want to like misspeak, but like most of them, the crime has already taken place, like kind of when the book starts, or like she's investigating a crime that doesn't really happen where you have these, it's not like grisly crimes, it's not like, you don't have like guns and like a high-tech crime scene. This isn't like CSI. This is for people who don't want nightmares of real crime mysteries. I just stumbled upon these one day. I'm not a huge mystery reader for that reason, because I know I would like mysteries. Like, I like to solve the puzzle of it, but I know I stay away from them because I don't want to like have nightmares, which I know I will. And so these are not that at all. These are for people who love animals. Like, you're an adult, but you like reading middle grade fiction because they have a lot of animals. Well, these are like the little bit like adult version. Now, the mysteries are not super hard to solve either, like at all. And you kind of have a feeling of like, you usually, like, I always pretty much know, but then it's still fun, getting every single detail in the end. And it's also fun when you as a reader know what's going to happen, but then the reporter, the main character, protagonist, Vera, hasn't figured it out yet. So then you're kind of waiting for her to figure it out, and it's usually what you think, probably what I thought. And so it's not, but it's still fun in the beginning because, you're like, oh, okay, what's going to happen? And it's not just that it's a mystery. It also reminds me so much of like Gilmore Girls, like the town. The animals aren't like super, super warm and fuzzy and like cozy and friendly. Like, I kind of thought they'd be a little bit more like that. They're very humanized, like to the point, this isn't like, how can I compare it? They're not like something like animals you would see in a kid's like cartoon or something. Or they're more kind of course, because it's for adults, like it's an adult book. So I didn't really like Vera at first, but then I grew to like her more and more, and I kind of felt the same way. That's why it's nice to read these as a series, because you get to know all of the characters throughout all of the books, and so you kind of have this they kind of each have their own personalities, and then you kind of get in, like they have like other things going on. It's not like just focused on the crime. You have like other little minor things going on between the characters, like friendships or relationships and things like that. It's kind of like an animal soap opera, but then very, very it's not like over detailed or anything like that. Let me give you like a short sample of the writing, and I don't think that I have too much else to say other than to say that, like, if you read like Stephen King or something like that, these might not be challenging. Of course, it did not, like, I don't read them because they're challenging. I read them because they're just like an escape. They're just like a cute little escape with just like an animal town. And even though like and I know like so far they haven't let me down with anything being too scary, and like, yeah, I just really love them. One lovely dawn in late August, the sun was cresting the tops of the distant hills to pour its golden light over the forest. Gladys Honeysuckle, always an early riser, was already on the wing, more than halfway into her daily journey through town. She was a hummingbird, as her name implied, and her bright green wings were always in motion, going about 100 miles an hour. Her tongue seemed no different. Gladys had something of a reputation as a town gossip. Conveniently, she was well employed by the Shady Hollow Herald, the town's sole newspaper, where she wrote a regular column about the town events and goings on. Not a pretentious post, perhaps, but one suited to her gifts. So, they have like a newspaper, of course, where Vera works, and then they have the coffee shop, and then they have the bookstore. So there's all these cute little locations, and that's kind of fun. And yeah, so I can't say anything else about them other than to say, if you kind of like escapism and you kind of want to change from reading, like, say, more serious, like, it's like they're serious, but then they're not, because yes, it's based on a crime, but then the crime is not like scary and bloody and stuff like that. So it's like, if you kind of want like escapism and you like to read about animals like I do, I think you should give these a shot. And I can't wait for the next one. I'll probably include that in one of my book updates. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Bye.